decisions are forced, when failure spreads faster than explanation. Inside these factories, urgency is not allowed to exist, because urgency is what appears when preparation is missing. Everything here is built around a single assumption, that one day, somewhere else, something will go wrong. And when it does, this system must already be ready. The scale alone explains the stakes. This is not short-term production. This is long-term responsibility. Every structure is permanent by intention. Steel is thick. Supports are redundant. Nothing exists for appearance. Everything exists for continuity. People move slowly here, not because they are cautious, but because speed is unnecessary when control is absolute. No alarms define this space. No flashing signals demand attention. Silence is not absence. Silence is proof. Because the real work happened long before this moment, and it continues long after. These systems do not stand alone. They extend outward, quietly, precisely. What leaves this factory does not announce itself. It does not ask for permission. It does not wait for approval in an emergency. The output is released only when verification is complete, not when demand appears, not when pressure builds. Dependency is total, but it remains invisible. Elsewhere, life continues without interruption. Equipment stays active, controls remain responsive, lights do not flicker, screens do not go dark. No one stops to thank the source, because nothing feels different. That normality is not accidental, it is manufactured. Multiple systems rely on the same discipline, not because they are identical, but because failure does not negotiate. Redundancy is not an upgrade here, it is the baseline. Every connection assumes another one might fail. Every pathway exists with the expectation of stress. Nothing depends on a single decision. Nothing depends on a single person. Control does not mean intervention. Control means anticipation. Inside the monitoring zones, no one reacts. They observe. Data moves constantly, quietly, relentlessly. Thresholds are watched long before they are approached. Deviation is noticed before it becomes visible. Potential failure is acknowledged before it earns a name. This is not response. This is prevention. Backup systems do not wait in darkness. They remain active, aligned, prepared. No dramatic handoff occurs when stress appears. The system shifts before anyone needs to notice. Because failure is not treated as an event, it is treated as a condition to be designed around. This factory does not hope nothing goes wrong. It assumes something eventually will, and then it removes surprise from the equation. But readiness does not begin with assembly. It begins far earlier. Long before a component becomes critical, it must earn the right to exist here. Nothing enters this system casually. Nothing is trusted by default. Materials arrive sealed, unbranded, anonymous by design. Identity matters more than origin. Specification matters more than speed. Before anything moves forward, it pauses, not for convenience, for proof. Every container is scanned, verified, logged, not because errors are common, but because even rare errors are unacceptable. There is no debate with data, no interpretation, only confirmation. Movement is restricted, paths are isolated, nothing intersects by chance. Separation builds trust, isolation prevents assumption. Materials wait without pressure, time is allowed to pass, stillness is intentional, because rushing is the fastest way to import risk. Inspection does not seek perfection, it seeks compliance. Dimensions are checked across every axis. Surfaces are scanned beyond human vision. Microscopic flaws are recorded without emotion. Acceptance is not approval. It is permission to proceed. Rejection carries no drama, no explanation, no blame. Risk is removed quietly before it learns how to spread. Approved materials move forward unchanged. Seals remain intact. Integrity is preserved. Trust here is procedural, not personal. Human judgment does not decide, standards do. Inside restricted zones, automation takes control, not to replace people, but to remove variability. Robotic movement is slow, deliberate, predictable. Sensors monitor everything humans cannot feel: temperature, vibration, alignment. Nothing is touched unnecessarily. Nothing is left to instinct. The environment itself enforces discipline. Conditions remain constant. Fluctuation is treated as intrusion. Verification does not end when handling stops. It continues until confirmation is complete. Only then do materials align, not by size, not by convenience, but by role. Nothing is assembled yet, but everything is ready. This moment matters more than it appears, because reliability is not created during crisis. It is inherited from decisions made quietly, long before anything was ever asked to perform. And once every material has proven it belongs, the system allows the next step to exist. Assembly does not begin with motion. It begins with permission. Nothing moves because a schedule demands it. Nothing starts because a human is ready. Action is allowed only when conditions are correct. When materials enter the core assembly space, nothing changes visually. The environment remains calm, unreactive. Because stability is not something to be announced. Tools wait in silence, calibrated, verified, untouched. Hands do not reach for them. Data does. Every workstation exists for a single purpose, one task, one responsibility. No overlap, no improvisation. The layout itself prevents mistakes. Order is embedded into the floor, into spacing, into sequence. Before anything is lifted, identity is confirmed again. Not by sight, not by memory, but by record. Because memory fades, systems must not. When the first structure moves, it does so slowly, not carefully, precisely. Automated mounts guide each component into place. Sensors watch alignment continuously. Correction happens before deviation becomes visible. No force is applied. Force introduces uncertainty. Locks engage one by one. Each confirms independently. Together they agree. Nothing is assumed correct. Correctness is proven. Torque is applied gradually. Resistance is measured in real time. Limits are enforced automatically. Humans do not feel when enough is enough. Machines do. Verification follows immediately. Not later, not eventually. Measurement replaces confidence. Proof replaces belief. When secondary components arrive, they do not strengthen the system. They assume it will fail. Redundancy is not backup. It is shared responsibility. Every part is built with the expectation that another part may disappear. Continuity depends on that assumption. Connections follow only one allowed path. Cables do not cross. Interfaces do not compete. Nothing is routed for convenience. Everything is routed for clarity. Seals are tested without spectacle. Pressure rises, holds, confirms. If a connection cannot be trusted, it is removed. There is no repair here, only replacement. Backup paths mirror primary ones exactly. Not second best, not visually distinct. Failure does not choose favorites, neither does preparation. Throughout the process, humans remain present, but they do not command. They read, they verify, they step back. Authority belongs to data, not experience, not confidence. Machines make adjustments too small to notice. Corrections occur beneath attention. Success is unannounced. When verification is complete, humans withdraw. Control returns fully to the system. The assembled structure locks itself into readiness. No further change is allowed without reset. Discipline concludes without ceremony. What exists now is not a collection of parts. It is a unified system. But a system is not proven by assembly. It is proven by pressure. Testing begins without drama, without warning, without witnesses inside the boundary. The system is isolated, not to protect it, but to remove excuses. Limits are extended beyond reality. Margins are widened past expectation. Sensors increase their attention. Humans reduce theirs. Stress is introduced gradually. The system absorbs it evenly. No vibration spreads. No instability appears. Load rises beyond normal use, beyond comfort, beyond necessity. Redundant paths engage quietly. Balance is preserved before imbalance can speak. Heat increases. Pressure follows. Regulation compensates automatically. Nothing deforms. Nothing complains. The system